We see, don't we, all that we experience is understandable as a spectrum of vibrations. There are different kinds of spectra. There's the spectrum of light, there's light, spectrum of sound. We can also think of spectra of smells, of tactile feelings, of emotions, and so on all down the line. We are, as it were, living in the midst of a woven tapestry. And so on all down the line. We are, as it were, living in the midst of a woven tapestry.
Peace, peace. This is djOHLOW coming to you live from Radio Fairfax here in Fairfax, VA. We got another full house, man.
Yep.
I'm gonna let everybody just introduce yourself, man. Starting to the left, my man Theory.
It's your main man Theory. What's good, Fairfax?
Peace, family. It's your brother eLBetta, the EMC.
Yeah, it's your boy Tony Gunnz, coming from South Carolina, DJ and producer.
Hotep, this is First Spawn on the mic with djOHLOW.
Peace, Mr. Forge, Guerrilla Republic, G-Rep DC. Got Bam Bam second coming in the background over there.
Peace and good evening. This is Mr. Scene Lewis. Just another artist from
Peace. It's your brother NaTuRaL E, repping Top Ramen Noodles.
That's what's up, man. So today we're doing something different, man. Unfortunately, what we had lined up didn't go through. So what we're going to do is we're going to play less music today, and we're going to do a little bit more of the conversation. And I wanted to talk about hip-hop and the fallacies, not just hip-hop. Let's just talk about music and the fallacies that go with being signed and what it means to get a contract and to be part of a music label or record label or recording label. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna ask everyone questions, and I guess we'll just spark it like that. But the first thing I want to know is, what is real hip hop? What does that mean? What's the definition of real?
Yeah, like I was, as far as that goes, it seems to me, this is my opinion, that gets thrown around. The term is overgeneralized now. You know, hip hop is a music form and as an art form, you have to let it grow and become what it's gonna become. You know, a generation grows up listening to a different style of music, and then their hip hop and their perception of it's going to be different. When people are saying real hip hop, I think they just try to tie it to an earlier time where there was more energy and more effort put into the type of music being made. You know, for real.
But what's the opposite of real hip hop?
Well, clone stuff. What it was at the beginning. If someone else had a particular sound, you didn't go anywhere near it. We didn't bite. There's no biters. That's the thing. Then people won with just straight needle drops and copying. So for a whole generation or two, biting became okay. And so now it seems we're in a situation like a particular sound is popular, so everybody wants to do exactly the same thing and sound exactly like the other guy. I'm part of the real.
That's not real though. That's not real. I think when it's real, it can't be identified as any particular thing. It can't be any particular sound. It can't be any particular groove.
Yeah, it's just the spirit of it.
It's just a feeling.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like
you can't deny it. You know what I mean? Like, so you can't identify what's real by like, oh, okay, it's like that. Oh, it sounds like this. It's just when you feel it, like you know off the break. You know what I mean? Without even having to think about it, that it's real. So being real could sound like anything.
So how is it that everybody's perception of being real is something different, right? But the companies that give us our music use it as a tool to say, well, this is real music versus something else. You know what I'm saying? Because it's pitched to us as real. This is real. This is real. Keeping it real. So how is it that everyone? I guess my question is, why is if everyone's perception of keeping it real or being real is different, why do we all kind of generalize it to one thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we kind of generalize?
Well, it seems like current popular music is there's a lot of cloning going on. And if you ascribe to a type of music making that doesn't embrace cloning and strives to, like, in my opinion, have some integrity to the music, you know what I mean? That's that camp in its entirety. You know what I'm saying? I can't discount anybody else's effort, and their music is as real as anything else. I think
because hip hop has so many different layers.
Yeah,
now.
layers and facets. You know what I'm saying?
You know, any of that could be real. You know, it might not be real to you, but it could be real to somebody else.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone's perception of it is different.
Like I said, overgeneralized to mean a more traditional way of making hip hop.
So like more organic. I guess real could mean organic.
And I think, like I say, overgeneralized. I think Betta's definition of what's real is very accurate. But I think that it's like, country music is one thing, right, to a non-country music listener. But if you're a country music listener, then there's bluegrass and
Can't tell nothing
traditional
bad about it.
and folk,
Yeah.
and there's so many different facets of it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people just want to grab a whole bunch of traditionalists that may stick to a particular formula and a particular sound, and because that's the original thing they were used to, they call that the real stuff, and this new stuff just isn't. But that's not part of, if you ask me, letting
That's like a
hip-hop
generational
grow.
thing.
Yeah, generational.
Every generation,
thing. Yeah.
I think every generation has
And
that.
then the term
feel.
has become overgeneralized. Now we got another DJ producer in the house. I'd love to hear your take on that, Gunnz.
I think it also boils down to, in our culture, once something reaches a certain level of success,
It stops being real.
it stops being
right?
real.
Yeah, once it's popular,
Yeah.
once it's for everybody,
true,
right?
yeah.
Exactly, because we're like, as much as hip hoppers might not want to make it, I mean, we ourselves are like the biggest hipsters. As
Yeah.
far as once something gets, the world gets a hold of it, then it's like, oh, that's fake. That's not real anymore.
It's like as long as you're underground and only you know about
Yeah,
that
I
group.
want it to myself.
Yeah, that's what I'm
once
saying.
you have it, nah, it's
Yeah,
not
I
real.
feel
It's
you,
not
yeah.
cool no more.
Yeah.
Nah, he got out.
I used to love 50 Cent, man. You know what I'm saying?
Because he belonged to us. But
Yeah,
then once the world got
that's
a
what
hold
I'm
to him,
saying.
then it's like,
When he was just a Queens rapper / drug dealer, I loved him, yo. You know what I mean? But then, when all that other stuff happened, man, then I just kind of forgot about it. Outkast, yeah.
When they first came out, they was real, low key. They was real low key and underground, but then they just turned into a
AT
phenomenon.
Aliens, man.
Then they went somewhere else. But we was talking about that the other day, though. You know what I mean? When we was talking about that pack, he's like, it's some funny loud floating around right now.
Yeah.
But it's funny, you know what I mean? Once something start getting commercialized, it's like the quality of it depreciates. Back in the day when there was only a few people doing it, it was, you know what I mean? It was a little, it was a little fresher. It was a little harder.
Yeah, and made sure that sounded, his is nice, but I got to beat that, with something new and original. I can't clone it. I can't do the same thing.
All right, so I'm glad you brought that up. Keep the mic, man, because that's something I'm going to ask you about, too. I want some other people over here to get involved as well, man. We got NaTuRaL E, Kevin, Mr. Forge, First Spawn. But my next thing was, just like you said about cloning, right, and how everybody's looping each other. Now the big thing today in 2013 is how people are looping 90s hip-hop tracks, kind of putting 2 or 3 together and then spitting over it. You know what I'm saying? So how do you guys feel about that? That's kind of like, is that keeping it real?
That's still that, that still is towards, if you ask me, like the people that would say it's real, how about would gravitate towards that. This hip hop that's become hip hop is what, I think is considered the problem, is everybody wants to do it like the exact same way. I mean, the joints drop the same way as, how fast can the hi-hats go? Then the snares do a rat-a-tat thing, and they're using the same drums.
The same drums, man. I'm sick of these
thing.
drums,
But
man.
you know what I'm saying? That when the traditional way of making the music, you're one of the guys that would definitely consider that sound real hip-hop, because it's just like no clone involved. I mean, that's my real heartfelt point of view about it.
Yeah, that's what's up. Let me move to the right a little bit, man. NaTuRaL E. Same question, man. And stay up on that mic for us, too.
Yes.
So, what do you think about people who are mashing up things that have already been mashed up in the 90s and recycling it again for the 3rd or 4th time?
I think what's really important is the context that they're doing it in. If they're going to great lengths to stay true to these artists, whatever artist they're getting this music from, if it's because they were inspired by it, then they should say that and pay tribute.
There's a track. First of all, let me just say thanks again for this intro. This intro was made by NaTuRaL E.
Face cruncher.
Yeah, it's the new joint.
Yeah,
but also, what we're talking about, I know there's an artist that we looked up at your house one time. We were kicking it at your crib, and we looked up Methuselah Gem, right?
Yes.
And he's got a track where he mashed up a few joints with drums from the 90s, but it sounds right. And to me, like, when I think of real, that's real hip-hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he did nothing
they made
wrong with that.
something new out of it.
Yeah, made something new, kept it fresh, and went back and took the sample that we already know and kind of like, I guess he took the original sample. I don't want to say him, whoever his producer was. Shouts out to his producer.
Definitely.
And took the original sample and flipped it again. But we already knew it, but we couldn't hate on it because it sounded so nice.
It was the way he did it. Like, a lot of people do it, but they don't keep in mind that it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Yes,
or whatever
sir.
Bahamadia once said, or however many people have said the same thing. And I believe Nas made reference to it too, that there's nothing new under the sun, and it's not what you do, it's how you do it. and how you freak it and how you take something of all the amalgamation of different things you were inspired by and make something completely new out of the passionate inspiration that you experienced.
Word, and to your left, man, Kevin, I want to ask you the same question because you're an artist, man, but you love hip-hop music.
True. Yeah, that's my foundation, hip hop music. But I will say, like, coming from an artist standpoint, I look at music as art, and once it becomes attached to, this is just my personal belief, once it becomes attached to the money, the finances dominate the creativity, that's when you run into this culture of the resampling. They're looking for a quick buck. And I think it's the same thing in the art world. You know, you see one guy that's really popular, you know, an illustrator or whatever, he's the hottest thing smoking. For 10 years, you're going to have somebody cloning him because he made a lot of money off of chasing that dollar, where the creativity falls out of, you know, and they could be the most talented people in the world, but if they let themselves get seduced, and I say seduced, and they let the money overshadow the creativity, you become a relic. You become a blip in time. You know, one hit wonder, if that, with anything.
I got a question for you, man. And this question's open for everybody. And Mr. Forge, for you too, man. Who do you think, like you said, you know, they become seduced? Who's the one that's seducing them, man? I want to talk about the labels.
Man, yeah. Oh man. I think my brother Theory said earlier about how country music sounds to us because we're not involved in that life. It all sounds the same. I think the same thing is for somebody that's these hip hop moguls. They just hear an 808, boom, 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 boom. They know what's hot. Hey, we got to make some more of them. So they don't respect the art, what it is, and that's how they seduce somebody that could be hungry and creative, but just wants to make that buck because he wants to, you know, get out of a situation, whatever the case may be.
And it's easier now too because
a lot easier.
The equipment today allows you to have a real clean sound and pretty much make any type of beat that you want to make. And not have to have too many skills because everything is quantized. Everything is, you know, like dab this and dot that and all this other stuff. You don't have to play an instrument.
Build it like Legos. Yeah, it's true.
Exactly.
It's true. I
Theory, you know about that, man.
Yeah, I heard something about that with that Jay-Z track with Alicia Keys on it. Like the drum track is just straight up, just, you know, pick a drum loop out of a particular program. You know what I mean? Yeah. You want some drums here, slide this over at 85 BPM, and then put some, throw some stuff on top of it. And that right there is it's a pure crime. Like there's nothing that you're gonna hear on the track of mine. If you can, my wax collective is eclectic. So if we happen to come across the same record, I think I'll have used it differently enough where no one would ever know. And then my drum sounds, I customize. I tailor my sound to fit. So you can't just get Reason because I use it and come out with my results. Because I tailor it to fit. That's the integrity. That's the piece that goes missing. But I mean, clearly, I mean, you don't have to be a genius making music to make $1 billion.
You always, when you sample, right? You still sample, but you chop it up and then you replay the drums. It's not like you just loop drums, right?
My hunt, as it pertains to sampling, is for the instruments. Captured as they were played. I'm not looking for somebody else's rhythmic loop to copy and slide into my composition. I'm looking for an upright bass note played with some rattle on the string, right? And it's mic'd up in an airtight room that I don't have. And it's a piece, you never know how old these instruments are or the capabilities of the players to make those instruments sound the way they do. I mean, you have to mic drums in a soundproof room or in a large soundproof room and then have it recorded on tape to get James Brown's drums. That's it, period, right? So if I want to go there, I'm going to get a kick where I can find it. I'm going to get a hat where I can find it and a snare in the same way. And then I've pretty much got those pieces in my library to put together and make the music out of.
I'm glad you brought up James Brown, man, because the other day I was thinking to myself, I forget that people like James Brown, Bob Marley, Michael Jackson, these people are dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because their music, their music is so powerful that you forget that these people are actually
That's
gone.
right. We speak about them as if they are living and breathing. Well, that shows you the power of our music and maybe, why we're so strong to keep on because it lives on beyond us. So
what I was going to ask you is, you were talking about, the drums, and everybody sampled James Brown's drums. Everybody.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about is today there's a lot of kids that put out their own drum kits.
Yeah.
Right? But then it's not their drums because, like you said, they don't play the drums. They don't record them.
No.
They just go around, find other drums online.
Yeah.
And then they might EQ it and then put it out. What do you think about that?
Exactly.
Everybody putting out their own drum kit.
Hey,
do you have a drum kit?
No, I don't have a drum kit out there. Now, I mean, I could jump on the bandwagon. I could absolutely supply people with a
I'm against it myself, man. I can't.
A insane arsenal. But like you just said, look, the tools.
Is that real? Is that keeping it real?
Hey, the
exposing
tools,
your drums, I don't even get that.
The tools are out there. We're not doing anything first. You know what I'm saying? The stuff's out there. I'm not going to deny the kids a toolbox. You know what I mean? I got mine a different way. I learned all my skills. I'm self-taught. I'm not going to hate on him because he had a great teacher. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to pass some knowledge down to First Spawn over
I want to ask First Spawn about that too, man. About drum kits. Where do you find your drums from, man? Do you go and look for drum kits, or do you try to just sample drums off records?
Or do you use what's provided to you, man? even if it's built in. No disrespect.
Yeah, or do you have a drummer? Do you go find a drummer and say, yo, lay down this track for me? Kevin Peter Jones.
No, like, all right, I don't go online and search for drums. Like, that's just, that's just too...
cheating.
Like, desperate.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm glad you said desperate, man, because when you're desperate, you don't even think. Your mind just stops, and you're not even thinking anymore. All right, good, cool,
like,
good. Keep going.
Basically, like, I use what's on Reason. So, like, anything on Reason, I, like, try to find out and then try to make it different, and, like, change something that was given to me. And also, like, I have people who, like, give me drum, like, kits. Like Ninth Wonder, like some stuff like.
Ninth Wonder gave you a drum kit?
No, like just like from other people, like.
Someone got his drums. Yeah.
Like, try to change.
Well, see, that's what I was gonna ask you about. So, what do you think about that? You think that's cool, or you think that's whack that people go and jack other people's drums and then give it away or sell it as their drum kit?
I mean, if you like don't change it, then and not make it yours, then that's just that doesn't work.
Even though they took it from another producer?
Yeah, but they didn't. But the producer got it from Roland, or he got it from EMU, or he got it from, you know what I'm saying? Another, some scientists in a lab formulated algorithms and created these sounds from these vintage machines, which were then recorded and then have been redistributed just everywhere. Some of us, like a bunch of my drum collection personally, are grabbing hits and snares from different places. I got I got all the drum sounds from every drum machine ever made. 7 TR, 606, 303, 909, 707, 727, which was all Latin percussion. If you don't know, you know what I'm saying. I got a MPC 60. Every sound sampled and gone through some compression and given like a volume boost. Hey, it's my toolkit. Each man got to get his own way. How about you, Gunnz?
Yeah, I just don't really see anything wrong with it. I mean, because honestly, it's no different than as far as taking drums offline, as far as drum kits, because it's really no different than digging in the crate and finding a sample on a record. And I take drums from anywhere. Honestly, I'll download drum kits. I'll take them out of old vinyl records. I'll take them off of CDs. I'll go on YouTube and get them off YouTube. Like,
all right, I got a question for you. Hold on right there, because I'm glad you brought all that up, because now there's so many ways that you can get samples. You can get drums. You can get all kinds of sounds from YouTube, like you said, off records, off tape, off CDs. Now, what do you think is the best quality sound for your music? Like, what do you like sampling off CDs because it's so clean, it's already mastered, or do you like the vinyl because it gives you that thick, rich sound?
It's gonna depend on the circumstance and the sound that I'm going for, because if you get something that's pristine quality and the CD quality, you can dirty it up. You can dirty it up, but it's just not gonna have that sound that something that was on 2-inch tape or vinyl is gonna have. It just doesn't have that crunch,
right, yes sir,
that warmness to it. But I guess it depends on what you're going for. If you're going for that pristine sound where it's just everything's clean, you don't want anything gritty, you can get something off a CD or a wave or MP3 or whatever. But I personally like that hard sound, so I like stuff that sound, if it didn't come right off of vinyl, like whereas I didn't get it myself, when I hear it, I can tell if it was originally sourced from vinyl.
If it was recorded off vinyl.
Right.
Yeah,
Speaking of beats there, DJ OHLOW, how about another groove from the collective that you have there, sir?
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a track or two. I'm gonna take a quick break after that, and then I'm gonna come back and play some theory beats. And I think First Sponsor got some beats too, right? Maybe. We'll see.
Hey, Guns, you got anything on your phone you can
You
play,
got any
man?
joints
I
for
don't
us?
got any on my phone. I might can slide out to my car and see if I have something out there. That's it.
All right, I'm gonna take a quick break and then we'll come back. This is On Beat with OHLOW. I'm gonna get into a track or two. Peace. This is djOHLOW coming to you live from Radio Fairfax. We're back. I got a full house, and we're talking about the music industry, man. We didn't even really get into everything I wanted to talk about. We were talking about keeping it real, and I really wanted to get into, let's get back to the drums real quick, because during the break, First Spawn said that you got some drums from Yamin Somali.
Yeah.
And you were saying that it was actually drums that a drummer played and he recorded, right?
Yeah, this drummer named Mike. Yeah. And then like
Drummer named Mike. That's
Mike?
what's up,
Yeah,
man.
everybody knows Mike.
Yeah.
Mike.
I want to be like Mike, man.
like
If I could be like Mike.
That's
So,
what's
yeah.
up. But look, what we were talking about is earlier we were talking about, before the break, we were talking about how people take drums and recycle them 100 million times. And then now people are putting out drum kits and putting their names on it. Like someone will put out DJ FU, DJ something drum kit. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't record the drums, they didn't play the drums, they just took them from another person who took them from somebody else who probably recorded them off of a record.
But you got to figure it's like commerce, man. What you're paying for is somebody else's effort in pulling all this together for you to have and just plug right into your sampler. That's what you're paying for, man. You know
Yeah,
what
but I
I'm
mean,
saying?
they're not even paying. It's free. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Even with the
all these
freebies,
things
huh?
are free now. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just kids are just. I think it's just to put their name out as if they're giving you drums. You know what
Well,
I'm
you know
saying?
what? The product of your music is what goes into it. Garbage in, garbage out.
What went
Period.
into this joint right here, man? There's no garbage behind this joint. Let us know about this beat, man.
This particular right here, this joint. I had to put this together on stage in headphones in a 2-hour period, doing a beat battle for my brothers, the beat conductors. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's vicious
that's
right
what's
here.
up.
This sample was
This joint is hot, man.
This sample was provided by my man djOHLOW, and I ripped it to pieces. I parted those drums, no loops in here. Got little pieces that I like, you know what I'm saying, and just chopped it right there on the point.
I'm gonna let it breathe for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Probably the worst place to let it breathe, man, because it's just the drums.
No, it's rocking.
bro.
The drums are rocking, though.
Yeah,
You can hear
yeah.
what I'm doing.
But I wanted
I'm doing some
the
work
sample
there.
to come back in so people can hear it. But
It's
that's
about-
what's up, man.
It's about to drop again. Yeah, and with a piece like this, my whole approach to it was like I had an MPC in front of me. Even though I used Reason for this joint, I wanted it loud, dirty, and I wanted to use the drums and just like preserve the edge that they have to them. Just like we talk about now, it can be clean because he gave it to us as a digital file, but the joint should just splash out, And when you record on tape and when you do those things, physically using a different medium results in a different type of sound. And
Well, see, I gave you the digital file, but it came off of wax.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So I tried to just, you gave out. Everybody should know too that when you should come see these battles that the
If people like to, man.
Isn't that what I said? I suggest that if you'd like to check out a battle, you should, because it's really some creative stuff, and the contestants aren't given much to work with. He doesn't give you the gold,
Yeah, that's what's up, man. But let's get back to the topic, man. I really want to get into Mr. Forge, man. You haven't even talked at all. All right, go ahead, man. Go
I
ahead.
was on YouTube, going back to YouTube the other day, and I came across this one artist, Jenny Sook. And I've come across other artists from R&B singers to also like some MCs, but and one of my favorite female singers from Europe named Roisin Murphy. She was on the Handsome Boy Modeling School album, but they did something awesome. And I'm an MC, so I don't know what's the jargon and the terminology producers. But what they would do is they would do like boom, ish, record it, and then they would come in and add. They would vocalize instruments, imitating instruments, and then loop them, and then just add in different effects. all off of their vocalization. So I was just blown away. You know, I was like, yo, that's originality.
It was all live?
Yeah, it was all live.
Yeah, they'll use a looper.
Well, yeah, is that
Yeah,
what
they
that
used to
is?
use a
But, yo,
looper.
I was just blown
And then
away.
just-
like, 'cause
and
it
just
sounded,
keep on layering.
It was fantastic, man.
I've seen videos where
People will
it's
record 4 bars and then do something over
their
the 4
voice
bars.
though, right?
Yeah,
It's all
using
their voice. Yeah,
It's all
yeah,
their
yeah.
voice,
There's
yeah.
Dub Effects.
Is that what that is?
I mean, no, there's a guy. His name is Dub Effects.
Okay.
And he's from England too. And he would just go on the streets and he would have one of these samplers, and he would start beatboxing, and then he
Right.
would lay down like a bass line and then just do some percussions, but all by mouth. You know
By
what I'm
mouth,
saying?
yeah.
And then
I
he
thought
would
that was
just
dope
layer
'cause
it.
it was, you know.
And
to
then
me,
he would start spitting
originality,
over
you
it.
know what I'm saying?
After he made a beat, he would start
Yeah,
spitting
yeah.
over it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ill. I like that too, man.
Yeah,
I think
thought that
that's
was original, man. And when piggybacking back on that question about real hip hop, I think it has a lot to do with perception. You know, like and just the way society brands things, sets trends. You know, marketing. You know, the real thing. This is genuine. You know. It even transcends into religion. Well, like, oh well, what's real to them might not be real to me, and what's real to me might not be real to them. So it's all a matter of human perception mixed with a little bit of ego and a little bit of narcissism. You know, it's like, so I don't
say
really know if we
perception-
know what
perception
real
is 9/10 of your perception of life is 9/10. No, I'm saying this all wrong, man. Better.
So reality is 9/10 perception.
That's what
so
I meant
if you
to say.
perceive it to be real, it is real,
right.
even if it's fake.
So, and so what I wanted to ask you now, because you said society, right? But is it society who's shaping this stuff, or is it the corporations? And when I say corporations, I'm talking about the people who are trendsetters in the sense, because it's not always, if a person's a trendsetter, some kind of a machine has to be backing him to get him out to the public.
Oh, without question.
Yeah. So do you think it's the people who are saying, okay, we're gonna idolize you no matter what, or is it the corporations behind these people that we idolize that say, this is the plan?
It's the corporations behind it, and then society gets caught up with it, and then they follow these trends.
Yeah, well, I mean, for a long time, it just seems like radio tells you this is the hit. This is the one. This song isn't. This right here, what we're going to play for you 10 times, this is the one.
Well, how long has that been going on, man?
Like I said, forever. For millions of years. I mean, that's just how
Jingles,
radio is.
I mean, go back to jingles,
From Jump Street.
Yeah, get on that mic, man.
It's still going on like that from Jump Street, man. It seemed like that's the easiest way to be able, they talk about television programming, radio programming. They say it's not a figure of speech. It's like a actual thing.
Programming.
They're programming the generation. They telling the kids what to like.
Right.
You know what I mean? They telling, telling you what to purchase. They telling you what to buy into. You can name like 5 current rappers that are out right now, and you can take a verse from each one of them that's in syndication, and guarantee if you look at each one of their verses, they all mention the same thing in some part throughout their verse. Whether it's a particular alcohol
right now,
brand,
right? Yeah.
Whether it's a trending
Vodka,
alcohol or vehicle or clothing,
Lamborghini,
or whatever,
Popular
cars,
celebrity.
whatever. All of them are talking about the same thing, Even down to like what all the rappers are using the Kurt Cobain reference, like bang, and it's like 5 different rappers that's in rotation right now, and all of them talking about Kurt Cobain. It's like it's ill what they even pick that becomes trendy, because it could be anything. But it seems like if you're not doing that, then you're noticed as something that's, not favorable to what it is.
All right,
they're
so I'm
trying to
glad you
portray.
brought that up too, because another thing I wanted to get into, my other question was, is it cool to be trendy, or is it cool to be the trendsetter, the person who actually, like the black sheep, the person who walks away from what's going on right now? Because like you said, if you're not part of the crowd, they think of you as like something else. Until you start to blow up and you start to get your own shine, then everyone starts to flock towards you. So what in your opinion, what is it cool to do? Is it cool to follow the trends and just kind of ride along with it? Or is it cool to be that outcast?
It's always best to understand what you're trying to accomplish and do that. You know what I mean? Because some people, they can do the follow the leader thing and then blow up. Like 2 Chainz got real trendy, but he's doing it good. You know what I'm saying? And he's getting away with it. And then you got artists like a Kendrick Lamar or something who kind of broke away from the trend and wanted to do his own thing and be original. And then he became a trendsetter. Now you got dudes coming up behind him doing something that he's doing, and he doesn't have to follow those rules. But then you got to handle, when you're a trendsetter.
But hold on, just go back to that, because like you said earlier, you said about that the Kendrick Lamar GQ magazine interview that he had, right? And how he didn't go with what they wanted him to do. He didn't go by what they perceived him to be, and they kind of outcasted him. And did that you think that hurt him, or you think that was like a good solid move for him? There was another rapper, actually, Cat Williams. I think that's a good example. You know what I'm saying?
Who wouldn't go along with what was trendy and wanted to do his own thing. Yeah, I mean he went against he went hard against the grain too. Cat wasn't playing. And I don't know at this point in the game if it benefit him. This might be a
that's what
situation when keeping it real goes wrong. You know what I'm saying?
But see, that's what I was going to get into, because in my opinion, he kept it real. And everything he was saying was the truth, and there was nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I mean, I mess with Cat.
That's what I'm saying.
But who am I? You know what I'm saying? But Cat is my man.
And now he's been blacklisted. Right? Cat, they said he's crazy. Everyone's trying to say he's crazy.
What you can't do when you're in that position, in that limelight, is expose people. No matter what people are doing, nobody really wants to be exposed.
Okay, but look, let me ask you this now. Okay, so now someone like Cat Williams, all right, he might not have the credibility to expose people like that, right? He might not be what people perceive.
But they Dave Chappelle them nonetheless.
No, that's what I was gonna say. But why is it there's other people out there, I don't want to say any names, but there's other people out there that might not look like Cat Williams that do it all the time and they get away with it. And nobody says anything about that. And they're not comedians, they're not rappers.
Asians.
Or they don't have the panache or the ears. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, especially with Cat went super hard. I mean, you can't go into people's bedrooms and just, you know what I'm saying, and just do your best to chisel away at their, whatever lifestyle they lead. You leave them to it. You expose them like that, and you start embarrassing people. Then people in positions of power, It's that whole mix-up right there.
I think that also it boils down to whose mouth that this information is coming out of.
That's what I was saying, because he doesn't have that. He's not like Koppel. What's the dude's name? Koppel on Channel 7, Ted Koppel or whatever. You know what I mean? If it came from his mouth, then people were like, whoa, what is that? What's he talking about? But because he's a comedian, or because he's a rapper, or because he's, whatever, it's easier for people to just throw him under the bus and say, well, he's crazy, he's on drugs, or he's whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And the thing is, I mean, even it could have been anybody. It could have been the people who are maybe in the same line of work, but if you just don't hold any weight in as far as from a social consciousness point of view, like if that would have came out of maybe say I don't know, somebody who's a little bit more in depth as far as their social awareness and who actually speaks on the truth, if that came from even a Richard Pryor, I mean, obviously he's passed away, but somebody who we at least say, okay, he's a comedian, but we know we're gonna.
What about Dave Chappelle though? Chappelle, man, same thing happened to him.
To a certain extent, but I mean, he didn't really put anybody's business out like that.
Yeah. It was different. Yeah, it was two different things. I
think, and he walked away rather than people outing him.
Yeah, exactly.
Or blacklisting him.
Yeah. I also think that because I think it's the direction of the artist. Where you want to take it. And I think that's the problem with Cat Williams that he had, and also with Dave Chappelle when he comes out exposing the machine, what you want to call it, exposing truths or whatever. His goal was to become big. He wanted to be a millionaire. So you're on that path. He went to buck the system that has made that path for him. So that's why doors got shut in both their cases. And I think that goes along with any kind of art form. You know what I'm saying? It's where when you have your direction, if you're just doing it for the love of it, you come up with some of the best stuff in the world. But when you have, you want to go on down this road, you got to play the game.
I got a question for you, man.
Can I add one more thing?
Oh, go ahead, yo.
Especially as the case of Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle. Dave, he rolled out on top and left the world clamoring for more.
Definitely.
Everybody, there's nowhere that Dave Chappelle couldn't turn up and be like, I want to do something. And they're like, oh my God, anything you want, anytime you want. But Cat exposed the machine and he hurt some feelings, and now they don't want to hear what he has to say. And that's a whole different place. Everybody wants to hear what Chappelle has to say.
Yeah.
Everybody.
But I think even the backlash that he got because he walked away on top. You see what I'm saying? They tried their best to sully his name after the fact that he left.
They walked away from all that money.
And he left on top. Yeah, they went really dirty with him.
I got a question for you, man, because I was talking to some artists, and when I say artists, you're an artist. You do actual art with paint and stuff. I was talking to some artists the other day, and they were telling me that a lot of artists are anarchists. right? Is that true?
Oh, definitely.
All right, so
Yeah.
my question to you is that is there any big artists out there that are anarchists that step up and expose, the truth behind of a lot of these things that are going on?
Man, I mean, the obvious guy right now in the art world is like the dude Banksy.
Banksy, yeah, you always
Banksy,
talk about him.
I
yeah.
gotta keep bringing it up because he is relevant to the fact that he knows he has a social platform and he uses it to which I think is beautiful. That's what I think everybody should do. But again, because he's so original, you got a million clones follow him now trying to chase his money because he has been rewarded, for that. He's a trendsetter.
Yeah,
He came out of nowhere, trendsetted. And
he's from the U.S.?
From the UK.
Oh, from the UK.
yeah.
Okay, that's what's up.
That's how big he is. He's worldwide. You have artists everywhere trying to do what he does, trying to follow that formula. I think it's the same thing what happens in hip hop, rap. Something will catch on and be bam, that hit, and then you want to copy it. The machine wants to copy it and produce it, reproduce it.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, man.
What about when you have an artist who's supposedly doing these things, but then they're profiting off of the same? It almost becomes a bit of who they are. As far as you see Kanye going on stage and ranting against the machine, but he's profiting enormously off of it.
I'm glad you brought that up.
And it's become almost a part of his marketing tool in itself.
Well, all right, good. All right, let me just say what I gotta say real quick, and everyone can comment too. Yeah. I'm glad you said that too, because I was gonna talk about that too. And the truth behind, again, we're talking about the fallacies of being signed. You know what I'm saying? We're kind of off topic, but we're still on topic. But one of the fallacies, in my opinion, of being signed is how you in a sense, I think you as an artist or as a producer, you have to have your own LLC, your own company, because you can make music and it's for the love and everything, but how are you going to support your family? How are you going to support yourself if you're not making bread? And if your music is that good to where people will pay for it, and you do go and sell it, you have to have some kind of a business platform to protect you and your music.
I would say about Kanye, right, and his music and his brand. We all kind of know a bit about his story, and in that first record, a lot of those stories are true. He's right there producing beats for Jay-Z, but he got to buy a ticket to the concert. So he was, from then, his feelings were getting hurt. He breaks wide and surpasses a lot of people, and then on his dime, he uses the machine, but like on his terms, he's able to push it out to the people, right? And then flip around and really not give you much music, so you gotta listen to what he has to say, right? To me, old Kanye, he's like a spoiled, petulant child. It's not fair. You have everything. Quit crying. Maybe it didn't come out the way you wanted it to be, but I get sick of hearing the brother whine.
Yeah.
He is doing, he's doing it on his own terms. I mean, he will be on stage with a mask on, with like bedazzled diamond mask, so you can't see his face. What is that right there? I mean, it's really a man focused on the artistry.
Bringing out white Jesus during the show.
Oh my goodness, but brought out white Jesus.
Oh, E, you were at his show? I didn't know you were at the show, E.
Oh man,
that's why you're so quiet, man.
Oh man, yeah, he's.
You talking about Jesus?
Yeah. I mean, just the arrogance of that. You're trying to vilify yourself. But hey, all press is good press.
That's what I'm saying.
So bring it on.
That harpens back to what you were saying about artists being anarchists. If they really stay true to the craft, they really want to break some walls down at all costs.
Yep.
Eventually they do that. They'll start from humble beginnings and they say, I just want to get here and I'll be cool. You get bored with it. If you're stay true to your craft, you want to be an artist. Again, you get to a certain level, you're just gonna.
Well, my opinion too is if you make that bread, whatever your vision is before you started making that bread, if you get that bread, you can start to make that vision become reality. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing. I mean, we all have to provide for our families. Yes, 100%. But if we want to see, in my opinion, like I don't want anyone to suffer anymore. I don't want people starving anymore. So if I had a lot of bread, if I can make a lot of bread, inshallah, I will have bread to do whatever I can. But if I had the money that some of these people had, I would be feeding people. You know what I'm saying? And I'd feel good about that. And that's the way you can apply something bad, like, you know what I'm saying, being a part of the system or whatever, but use it towards something good.
Oh, definitely. But that goes into your upbringing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that goes into more of a societal thing too. Or social,
morals,
social
right?
And cultural thing that goes on there too.
How about that?
You see cats that they're going these left fields, man. They don't have. It's a hard life they come in. Come up in. So once they get a little bit of that bread, I mean, I'm not going to say they turn to savages, but you get something like that where, again, it's the reality is, what you perceive.
Hey, also, man, takes it right. What you're saying takes it right back around to the programming. Yeah, they get that bread. Everybody in the room, when you get rich, what you supposed to do? Huh?
Put it in the
Burn that
bank.
money. Live fat. Show it off. Burn that money. Live
But
fat.
see, that's
show it
not
off.
true,
burn that
though.
money. No, you're right. It's not true. But it's the programming that we talk
All right, but so
about.
look,
You know what I'm
so
saying?
okay, so we know that there's programming. So okay, so if you do get that bread, right, for those artists out there who are signing these contracts, and we're talking about contracts and the fallacy of being signed. So these people who are signing to these contracts or signing to these labels, signing these contracts with these small labels and signing like 10, 15, 20 year or 10, 15, 20 album contracts. I know a kid, I wish Usain was here. I know a kid that signed a 100 album contract, and he's a young kid, like 22 years old. And he couldn't be a part of Beat Conductors because of this contract. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So people who are doing stuff like this, like, what do you have to say to them? Because some of these kids, and they're not, it's not even just people in music, man. It's people in sports. It's people in movies, man. It's people that just play the stock market and get bread. It's all kinds of different things.
You're going to chase that dream, educate yourself on it. There's exactly what it is. Right, that's what you've got to do.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge is king, no question. You have to. If you're going to jump into the game, you have to know a little bit about what it's about. It can be stars in your eyes. And, you're left with nothing at the end of it, but you got to take the ride. And a lot of people just really want the ride, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they just want the ride.
Learn the game and get played.
That's right. Learn the game and get played. And maybe you get dealt a second hand and you can make it work out. But nobody starts the game smart. Nobody.
Unless their parents is like Lionel Richie or something. I guess,
if you're a protege, if someone looks out for you, you know what I mean? But if you're TLC, you know what I mean?
Poor girls, man.
Just so much of that goes on, and it's going on. People appear to be living huge, but what are they really getting, really? And how long does it last, man? These guys burn bright, but you're designed to be replaced. You know what I mean? It kind of, like Lil Wayne is still huge, as is Nicki Minaj, and even your Lady Gaga. But think about it, everybody. They're all kind of yesterday's news. Nobody's trying to hear. Nobody's trying to hear Nicki Minaj go. I mean, it's just like it was.
A lot of them straight though, but it's just like the whole imagery of the artist today is
nobody
different.
Wants to hear it anymore.
Because it doesn't seem like anybody really does it for the music anymore.
Do you think that's what?
And they don't come in to make long, strong music.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what drives Kanye though? That same aspect.
Yeah, he's
right
like
there.
he's like one of the bravest anarchists and artists out there to be ballsy enough to just give people quote unquote music that really doesn't contain much music. It's really focused on you listening to what I've got to say.
Yeah, it's surpassed the music with him. It's not even about music
surpassed
with him
the
anymore.
music. How about that? How about being
it's
a
all
musician?
about the imagery.
And
it's about the imagery
it's
now.
all imagery.
And what does he have to cry about next? That's what everybody's tuning into.
Yeah.
Because that album didn't do nothing.
We got a few more minutes, man. I want to give everyone an opportunity to give out some shout outs, plug in their websites and things like that. But I also want everyone to close the show with your opinion. If you got something to say to the people, whether it's to young artists or to old artists or to the record labels or to the people who run the labels, you know what I'm saying? This is the time to do it right now. I'm going to start by saying this, man. In my opinion, music is all about integrity. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, if your music doesn't knock, if it doesn't have that sound, and you don't have the lyrics to go along with that rhythm, with that music, it's not worth it for me, man. And a lot of people send me music that's, in my opinion, it's not as good as it can be. But they send it to me and they want me to play it and they want me to do all this stuff. But the thing is, I can't play your music, man. First of all, probably because I don't like it. But second of all, because in order to get your music played on radio, you have to follow some of the rules, man. And some of the rules that apply are make sure your dynamics, make sure your music sounds good, make sure it competes with industry standard music. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, again, man, people who have money and people who are out to get money, there's nothing wrong with that, man. It's good to secure your business, and that's what you're supposed to do, actually. The first rule of business is to make that money, to get that bread. It's what it's about. You can make money and still keep it real or keep it 100 or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter, because whatever your perception of 100 is what it is. That's it. Making that money and getting that security and, trying to get ahead for your family, there's nothing wrong with that, man. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, I used to think like, I'm not worried about the bread. I'm not worried about the money. It's all about the love. But love doesn't feed my son. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the whole thing. Is I think, in my opinion, man, all young artists just need to
Can't feed that baby them books, kid.
yeah, young artists just need to look out for themselves, man. In my opinion, Theory.
Young artists must look out for yourselves. Yeah, that's a great point. And I say you got to continue to work on your craft and keep pursuing your dream. Never quit. Those are the people that win, the ones that never quit. Also, you got to, like O said, put your heart and soul into it and make sure that what you're putting out there actually competes with what people are doing. I don't have anything for the record labels, but for all of us independents out there, let's keep fighting the good fight. And if you want to hold out and not let us in, that's fine, because you're going to clamor to be a part of what we're doing now. You know what beat conductors say? Fall in or fall off.
That's what's up, man. If people wanted to find you, man, just give them the Twitter real quick.
Yeah, please follow me at Theory Beats. I need more followers. If you'd like to, please follow me at Theory Beats. I need more followers if you'd like to. And if you'd like to hear some dope music and get some freebies on, if you'd like to, right? I'm not insisting. Yes, I am. What you should do is go to thepackage.bandcamp.com and get your fill. Thepackage.bandcamp.com. You're looking at your television set now, listening to my voice come out of it. And it's wonderful. I do like it. I love it. Now, I'm going to let the mic go to the next person.
eLBetta.
Peace out.
What you got to say to the babies, man?
Hey, man.
If we step outside and get hit by lightning and die right now, what would you want your kids to know from this point forward?
Hey, wait,
man?
I'm not to interrupt anything, man. My thing wasn't all that deep. That was music business, man. I want world peace too. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, keep it around music, though. You know what I'm saying?
Around music, yeah. Be creative. Stay true to yourself. Do things that feel good and make people feel good, and don't be a douche.
What's up, man?
eLBetta, holla at me at eLBetta on Twitter, LORDBETTA. Google me, son.
I would just have to say, if you want to be a part of this thing, then, at least know the difference between your craft, and in this case, hip hop, versus the music business. They're not the same thing. Hip hop is something we kind of born into, that we grow to love, but you thinking that just because you're nice at what you do or whatever, that everything on the music business side of things is going to be kosher. But I mean, it's just a cutthroat business, and you gotta find your way through it. You gotta weed your way through it. And that's pretty much all I can say.
That's what's up, man. I like what you had to say today, and I definitely want you to come out. Thanks for coming out. It's your first time.
Definitely.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Absolutely.
And if people wanted to find you online, man.
You can follow me on Twitter at Tony Gunnz. It's TonyGunz. No relation to Corey Gunnz or Peter Gunnz. If you watch the Love and Hip Hop, he done dirtied up the Gunnz name. Looking crazy on TV, but it is what it is, man. It was a pleasure. I thank y'all for having me.
That's what's up, man. Appreciate you coming out. First Spawn, 15 years old, right?
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. So what do you got to say for the 13-year-olds?
Just to say to everybody,
Get some bass in your
it doesn't even matter what generation you are. Like, creativity is key, and just do what you want to do. Just
That's what's up, man.
believe what anyone else tells you to do. Just do what you do. And like your own art form, and just create, focus on you. Just forget everything else. Or like integrate things you learn.
Yes, patois.
But just like make it your own and use your creativity and imagination.
Yes, student. Tell
and
them,
just
tell
like
them.
have like
Yes.
like the whole universe is all around you.
Yes.
So just gather all the knowledge and stuff and just like focus inside of it.
I told him that.
That's what's
It's
up,
like-
man.
I don't know, like
The youngest cat getting the
like
deepest
the
over
mind-
there.
Yeah,
Like-
man, that's it right there. Yeah, the lessons sink in. We're talking to him for the last
record
couple of years.
labels,
Yeah, it's it.
I mean, making a living off of music, that would be like so do like if you have really the love for the music, and I know I do, like just the love, the passion, like every day you breathe and then you bleed like music. If that's like your main thing, just do it. Like don't even like worry about it. Just like do what you want to do.
That's what's up, man. If people wanted to find you online, how can they find you?
ReverbNation.com, First Spawn.
There you go. And to your left, man, we got your pops, Mr. Forge,
Peace, hello.
Guerrilla Republic. I never even said Guerrilla Republic,
yeah,
man.
Guerrilla Republic, G-Rep DC Brothers in the house. Yeah, from experience, man, I just want to say, make sure, because I had a publisher, and I got, long story short, that went sideways. Something got, played, and they didn't know that I was registered as a songwriter through BMI. So, the joke was on them. I still got my paycheck. I still get my paychecks. For everyone out there, sign up through BMI, sign up through ASCAP, secure your information, your music, go to, copyright it. Pretty much now everything, I guess is copyrighted since it's, digital form. But, just safeguard your music, and then do for self, you know what I mean? If you got producers, if you produce for yourself, make your own artwork, guerrilla tactics, just get it out there, use all the tools. I use all the tools out there, from Twitter to Facebook, Instagram, mouth to mouth, just build, but really secure your music, get it out there, and do for self. But if y'all want to find me, you can go to Reverb Nation. You can find me on Audio Mac. There's a lot of free albums out there. The Worldwide Warriors is out there. The Guerrilla Republic, DC, Truth, the Sat Behind the Doors out there. My albums, of course. Find me on Twitter at Cosmic Chicano.
That's what's up, Cosmic Chicano, man. Thanks for coming out, man. It's been too
Peace,
long.
Brother. Yeah, we like Voltron, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. And to your left, man, we got my man Kevin Scene.
Hey, what's good?
Well, you want me to call you Scene or Kevin or
Scene,
CL or
Scene
KL
is-
or what you
Scene
want me
is
to call
the
you?
one, I think.
All right, that's what's
Scene
up.
is it,
Scene,
that's
just
what's
Scene.
up. Yeah, I appreciate it. But my advice would be to any artist, man, is just focus. You have a dream, focus on everything. If you're not making no positive steps towards that dream, man, don't waste your time with it. And with that focus and with that dream, man, educate yourselves, through the process. And, in that dream, think about what could happen, what couldn't happen. So you try to be best prepared, even though it doesn't always work out like that. Just really focus on your craft. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about every step that you take is going to affect that dream and that future. And, if you stay true to it, you'll see yourself through.
That's what's up, man. If people wanted to find your artwork online,
Yeah,
or just wanted to follow you on Twitter,
Kevin Scene Lewis, SCENE.
That's what's up, man.
Kevin Scene Lewis. And then Scene Art Studios is my website. You can see stuff, order prints, all that. All right.
word, that's what's up, man. Thanks for coming out, NaTuRaL E.
Peace. Just stay true to you and your family, the foundation. Wherever you came from, just stay true and persevere. It's a daily, nightly operation and occupation. I think of the immortal words of the great J Dilla, be about what you're about. You can follow me at NaTuRaL EMC. Find me and my crew, TRN, at trnoodles.com. Thanks for having us, O.
I appreciate you coming out, man. Our time is up, and I got to get out of here. I don't have any time for anything, man. So this is On Beat with OHLOW, once again from Radio Fairfax, and hopefully you'll tune in next week. Peace.